Thanks for all the feedback about my first movie, which covered TSG. This one I'm going to cover PHDk. And again, I don't know too much about editing or syncing fancy music together, so I'm going to just stick to the commentaries, and people seem to like it. It's a little different, I guess. I just saw there was a promo for skillcap.com. I'm going to be making movies for them, instructional Death Knight movies for all level of player. So go check that site out. That should be up and running in a week or two. And if you have any requests for a video you want me to make, highlighting a certain comp or helping you out with 2v2 or anything, just let me know. Now, Season 7 just ended, and it was a rough one for Death Knights after the changes to Scourge Strike becoming physical, and the end of the season Gladiator turnout mirrors that. And the low rep for DKs is pretty deserved. Even if you can play the DK well, there's still get the feeling that another class in your place would perform better. And in my opinion, it has a pretty low skill cap because of most of our crowd control things are on such long cooldowns. It's just kind of a pain. You almost feel worthless half the match until your 1 and 2 minute cooldowns are back up. And I've actually got some footage of some other DKs and how low the skill cap can be if you can just face roll damage, wear some PvE gear, and have good teammates. So I'll highlight that as well. As I mentioned, I think PHDk is a lot stronger than TSG because hunters have so many more options for controlling healers. In TSG, you're pretty much zerging damage and hoping to get fast kills. PHDk plays just as fast. You want to get in there and get things going, but your hunter can really lock a healer out. You'll see in the video there's some CC chains we'll put on people that are pretty nice. And I found sometimes the best, unless we're going up against some kind of type of spell cleave or even rogue teams, I'll almost open with we'll put out heavy damage early, open with a gnaw into a strangulate, and then let the hunter take over interrupts from there. I've found that sometimes when you save your gnaw or you save your strangulate, later in the match you're just going to end up overlapping some hunter CC. So I just blow my stuff, tell him when it's done, and let him take over from there. Most of this movie was recorded toward the end of Season 7. All of it was patch 3.3, and you can see all the DKs. There's a couple DKs and warriors in here that have the Bryn Troll weapon. They're all using it before the proc was nerfed, so you see those other DKs out there, they're doing 20% more damage I am just based off some broken proc. So I'm in full PvP gear, full relentless offsets, so you can see what kind of damage a DK does. My first video was recorded real quickly. It was just 2 nights of playing, so we couldn't get any high rated teams. I took some more time on this one, so everyone is from above 2500 all the way up to the high 2700s. There's a lot of former rank 1 players in here as well, so the competition should be much better. Alright, that's enough talking. Let's get this shit started. Let's go kill some nerds. First up, we got a 2500 DK Hunter Druid. Let me pause it right here. This DK's got a Bryn Troll, he's got some tier 10 pieces. As you can see, I usually set my focus to healer, but in a matchup where you catch a DK or any other class with poor mobility without a Dispeller, you want to just put your focus to him and control him. So just watch the focus frame this whole fight. The DK barely moves. If you keep an eye on him as well. He's almost never in melee range unless he death grips. So we just ride the hunter, make the DK our little bitch. There's his death grip. And yes, there's actually trinket chains here to try to stay on something. Trinkets change right into a gnaw. And then he's stuck walking through hunter traps again. So then we go more chains on him, into a scatter, into a hodge. Their hunter's getting opened up on, so it's always good when our hunter's left alone. So the poor DK probably cried a little inside. Here we have a Ret Warrior Druid. What we do here is we try to pressure the warrior to force him defensive. We'll switch to the red as well, just to make the druid spread more hots. And our goal is to find times to make switches onto that druid. Try to catch him in bad position to force bop and trinket. We'll focus on druid. Start on this warrior, hopefully just to get him to blow his charge right off the bat. Then start rolling diseases on whatever's closest. And we get the druid stretched out here, so we're going to grip him in and make a switch. So bring him in, we make the switch. Put him into a gnaw, and just strangulate before it gets around the corner, and we get a kill shot off. It's a 2500 team, but pretty face roll, so can't blame him for dying that easy without a bop. Here's a real short one. It's just a good example of how we come out hard, open with a gnaw into a strangulate on the healer, and heavy damage out on one of the DPS to force a bunch of cooldowns real early. So we start on warrior, go gnaw, into a strangulate on druid. Before stringulates even out, we force a shield wall. Hunter goes, scatters druid, forces a trinket, and this team can't recover from this. We end up winning. Here's one that's too funny not to include. If you look at the screenshot, our hunter just DC'd. We were ahead on this TSG in the first place. But both pallets have bubbles, both have trinkets down. My Garg's down, my Strangulate's down, and so this is a legit 2v3. Now usually when we get a DC and both teams have this many cooldowns left, I'll just leave the game. Pally bops me here. You see I just jump up and down, I'm getting ready to leave. He convinces me to stay, so we play it out, see how it goes. End up getting their pally to force a bubble there with a gnaw. So now I just gotta protect my pally and wait till their bubble runs out and make another coordinated switch over to him. Now I pop my AMZ here so we can kind of sit in it and wait for the pally to run out of bubble. Now I'm gonna pestilence diseases to him. We got a Hodge up, so once diseases go, I call the switch here. Interrupt that heal into a Hodge. The pally helps with bursts, and we get a kill there. So TSGs would be crying over this loss. Very demoralizing. Here's another face rolling 2500 TSG, except this one has a twist. They both got 2-piece tier 10. DK has a Shadow's Edge, and Warrior has a Bryn Troll. So basically, you just want to use this space here. Try to keep them both in traps. Every freedom goes to our hunter. DK just peel as much as you can. You want your pally to be as close as you can to the pillars, to a pillar, so he can't get switched to. See the DK there, just let himself. We went early gnaw into a strangulate. DK let himself get to about 10% before he even went to frost presence. So let's just show you that you can be a PvE geared retard and just spam damage and tunnel something and still get 2500. So as you can see, I'm just switching targets, trying to keep them both slowed. Basically, I just keep peeling while Hunter keeps getting distance, and Pally tries to get to a place where he can hang out close to some LOS in case he gets switched to. So as you can see, they're not getting on the Hunter very easily, which is what you want to do. You want to force them to have to switch. And if they end up going on me, it's even better. Grip Warrior right into the chains, back on the DK because we forced a bunch of cooldowns out of him already. Silent shot on Pally. You get a focus interrupt on Pally and he dies there. So yeah, fully PvE geared TSG. Real tough stuff. Here's Shadowfrost Hero, Milk Bags, and Deadly Gladiator Adams. They're TSG. So again, we want to just start peeling, keep the distance. And Milk Bags does something kind of dumb here. He's blowing his magic immunities for seemingly no reason. There wasn't much damage coming in. He popped AMZ there. Right here he pops AMS when he's not taking any damage. If he would have saved those for later in the match, he probably could have saved his team. So we gripped Adams there, forced a trinket. Once he gets behind that pillar, just let him go there. Don't follow. Let me pause it right here just to show you positioning. Now this is pretty much the perfect positioning for us. We have Pally at max range of me, Hunter in between us, just standing back, pumping damage. And then we're in a spot where their Pally has to hop around that corner to get any casted heals off, while he's going to be within range of Mind Freeze and Arcane Torrent. So this is perfect positioning. We want to keep this. Anytime something goes behind that pillar, just let it go. I wouldn't have followed then if I didn't have Trinket up that I could get out of. But you don't want to make your Pally have to come in there. So just whatever target they give you, stick to that target and put damage in. Just keep them pinned. Here would be a nice place for an AMZ, Milk Bags. So yeah, they get out a little bit here. Use my cooldowns to stop some damage. The Warrior gets away, Bop's used. Get a chain on that Warrior to help with the peels. Just try to pin him back in there. Since Pally's got Trinket and Bubble down now, we can get a switch to him. Again, he gets behind the pillars, let him go, just keep pumping damage up, make him come out. And we get the kill here, but you can see we just chain interrupts into the Pally. So he's got to poke his head around, gets a silent shot there. I'm getting ready to try to get a Mind Freeze on him while keeping damage up. There's a Mind Freeze, there's a scatter into a trap with everything down, so he's dead. We've got Arcane Torrent here, just waiting for him to pop out of that trap if we don't get a kill. Would have Arcane Torrent and we would have been able to finish him off. So here's two mirrors. And typically the strat in a mirror is just to zerg each other's hunter with interrupts on the Pally. Keep an eye on the focus and see how this Pally gets shut down. I don't think he gets any casted heals off, maybe one. This one we want to start on the hunter, but sometimes you just can't start on what you want, so you need to switch target. So DK runs out, we both get on him and put interrupts into the Pally. We still kill DKs, no problem. So Pally's trying to get a heal. There's a silent shot. Send my pet over for the gnaw. Got that. Next I'm going to interrupt this with the Strangulate. DK's dying the whole time. And there's a scatter on the other interrupt, so Pally didn't get a single heal off except for Holy Shocks before his DK died. I gotta pause this. Now, this is a DK named Behemoth on Nightfall. He's got Broken Bryn Troll weapon and other PvE gear. This guy is an example of what I said earlier, where you can be successful as a DK just by mindlessly spamming one target, tunneling target while your teammates carry you. These guys are a top 10 team all season. So take a look at this video. He tunnels the hunter the entire game, rainbowing around pillars, and if you watch Gladius, he doesn't blow a single defensive cooldown before he dies. So I'm going to get started on hunter here with early gnaw and do a Strangulate on Pally. It's not bad to blanket these. It just puts Pally behind on Dispel so you can actually get some damage going. Diseases up. Keep an eye on Rambo back there getting soloed by the hunter. I just want to keep this Pally. I know that DK is going to keep Ramboing, so I gripped him out here on the open. Now I'm going to switch to DK with my hunter. So again, he doesn't pop a single defensive cooldown here. And he actually spams too many death claws, so he can't even pet sack toward the end here. So stay on DK. Hunter got low there, had his turrets. Still chasing DK. Took an AMZ for my Pally. And then we land a kill. It's just frustrating how the DK class can be played so skilllessly and still be successful. It works, obviously, but it's just frustrating. Here's D-Glad Hunter Hero. Got nerded, my good friend. Funny story about this, I actually just told him he won't get rank 1 on Shadowburn, that's what he transferred here to get. And he got a little upset and he said that my shitty Pally Hunter DK wasn't going to stop him. We ended up farming him. We ran 3 different comps to try to get rank 1 and we kept beating every single comp he brought. This time he's running UA Lock Hunter Pally. So we're just going to ride that UA Lock, try to get a pet kill, put interrupts into that Pally as well. So I get Scattered opened up on so that they can get a UA up. And then we put an early silencer in the Pally, and then I put a gnaw into him, and then a Strangulate. And with all these, me blowing my cooldowns early, it forces them to blow some cooldowns. So here we force the Warlock's port, and then we get a trap on the Pally, so force his Trinket. So we're already ahead, which is good. I just want to stand that lock, and every time I interrupt a UA, I tell my Pally I got the UA, so he can keep an eye on the ones that are up and feel free to dispel. So, and I'll also tell him when I didn't get one, so we can watch out. So here we just keep putting big damage into the lock, and we end up, Hunter and Pally end up switching to his pet, and they get a kill on it. Warlock gets low and he jumps here. You just want to let him go. Don't even worry about it. Especially when he's going down, he starts summoning a blue boy, which is really good for us. So we just stay up here, get on whatever we can. They end up all jumping now. So Pally's got Bubble down, he's got Trinket down, and they're all pretty low. So we get in there and keep the pressure up. If you see that Hunter pet low, just finish it off. So do here, and then all we're going to need is a couple of interrupts on this Pally, and we got this. So I tell him I got next, I death grip one, and we put him into a scatter. Warlock ends up dying. Here's my friend Nerded again on the same comp. He's getting a little frustrated this time, as this is the second comp we've been farming down. So I don't know, I can just tell he just seems a little agitated. So again, we'll start on this lock. If you could pin a lock on his port, that's pretty huge. So we'll get on him right where his port is. Just start pumping damage. We had an early gnaw into a strangulate on a pally, try to force some stuff. I overextend a little bit here, but unlike most DKs, I actually save my defensive cooldowns for when they're needed. So I dead zone the hunter there, pop Icebound Fort, just slow some damage, and then back on the lock. I get Death Cult here, I see the fear coming, so I'm spamming Lichborn. So I get that fear and then it's back on lock. Just try to keep spread damage up, let this Aura Mastery run out. Bops out, and then I'll dead zone the hunter, slow some damage. Then we're going to switch to the Pally Meats in a second here. And we're on him for, seems like forever, just doesn't realize it, 'cause his awareness is that bad. So he ends up dying without bubble. Good job, Meats. It looks like my good friend seems to be unimpressed with us. Makes me pretty sad. I thought we were bros. I was even going to let him date my sister. I don't know, I just thought we were buds. I didn't know it was like this. Here's a Priest Lock Shaman spell cleave. Now we want to get the same position we talked about before, where I'm pushed into them, hunters in between, hunters behind me, and Pally's at max range. And then especially on this map, we try to not push in, so we don't have to force our Pally to come in there. And this positioning is good because if their priest ever tries to Rambo through for a fear, you can switch to him and kill him. So your Pally should never be getting feared by their priest, which is nice. So we just start putting out heavy damage early. I blow an AMS to stop some damage. Now against Spoke Cleaves, if I don't have AMZ or AMS up, I'm going to tell my team that, and I'm going to get some LOS, or tell them I need to get LOS. We'll get interrupts out. There I'd take a nice 16k burst with a quick pet sack into an AMZ. So about now I'm realizing I gotta get the hell out of here. I'm gonna get blown the hell up. So I start running for it. Nothing's up except right there I pop Icebound and Bone Shield to slow damage. I get diseases up on the pet, try to taunt it over so I can Death Strike it for some healing. Lock pulled it back though. So again, I won't show my face against many Spoke Cleaves. I'll pop out and throw chains out, or maybe get a good interrupt if it's needed. But I won't show my face till my magic communities are back up. So now they're back up, my pet's back up for some totems, and then we'll go get started again. And again, we don't like to play this super aggressive. We kind of take it easy. Their lust is down. We just keep pushing them in there. We're getting on the Shaman, we got AMZ up, or AMS up. We're going to get a Strangulate on the Priest when the Shaman gets low. Strangulate right into a Gnaw. And then the Shaman dies. Here's an example of another spell cleave. And with that position I talked about earlier, here's an example of what happens when that Priest decides to Rambo. A lot of times on this map you just kind of got to go with the target that's available to you. If one's pillaring, just switch with your hunter to whoever's open. I sit on my hunter right now just to see if I need to drop an AMZ, but the heals get up on him, so we're fine. I saved it. You're gonna see him stomping totems. Priest comes into Rambo, so just put a Strangulate on him. Tell my hunter. Already had full diseases, so it's a pretty easy kill for us. That's why those priests can't come out there like that. The next matches are all rogue comps. Now our strats usually depend on the other team's target against rogues. If they open up on me and they're starting on me, I'm going to get all freedoms. I'm going to kite that rogue and control that rogue and stay out of his melee range while we're both DPSing their caster DPS. And if they're on the hunter stays on the caster DPS, but I'm full time on that rogue peeling, and the hunter's getting all the freedoms. Let me pause this again right here just to show you this is the position we want against rogue teams on any openers. So, because our strat depends on what their target is. So we want the DK far away from both the hunter and the pally so I can grip off any rogue openers. So they opened up on me here, putting damage in that warlock. I'm going to get ready to start kiting this rogue. Just going to look for freedom. So I get the freedom, switch to rogue, put a new chains and desecration down, and then I get back on that lock. So we're just going to ride this lock and keep an eye on that rogue. And it's my job to get that rogue off the hunter, so as soon as his cloak runs out, put him in a new chains. Then I switch to lock here. I grip Rogue off, put him right in another chains, and then watch the CC on him. Chases Hunter. Gets put into a trap, and then Pally comes in and hodges him full. Poor guy got wrecked. But again, against any rogue team without a dispel, you can do that to rogues. Even when they do have a dispel, just wear them through their cooldowns just by kiting them around, and then you wear them out, you'll win. Here's one last roguelock druid. So just control the rogue and put damage into the lock. You want to use every grip really well too. Make sure you got a lot of distance between you and your hunter. I always follow it up with a chain. So they're on hunter, so I start peeling instantly. AMS that open cyclone, and it's back on the lock. Stuff gets a little bit scary in the second hit. So just trying to make sure that rogue is kept slowed. I'm gonna eat a full cyclone. Hope they get through it alright. Quick grip into it, chains, and then I get bopped out of the blind. Remove the bop, and it's back to the same old stuff. Kite rogue, MS falls off, so we get a big hunter gets topped off. And we get a kill in the lock. Here's another RLS. Another thing, just try to keep the cleansing totem dead. We get make a pretty big mistake here. My pally hodges their rogue right as I was telling him that I'm going to jump off and grip him down. So get started with peeling on the rogue. When they're close to the edge here, I'll get an early grip on him, but he had hodged him. So AMS that hex at the last second. And I'll try to kill these succubuses a lot. Stomp that cleansing totem, but I'm on this lock again. Trinketed blind. You gotta kinda run here, they got us on some bad spots. So we'll just keep moving, keep kiting. I'll keep peeling this rogue and we'll just have to get the momentum back. When I see rogues run away like this, he's going to try to get a re-stealth off, so I'll always throw my pet on him and just leave the pet. So you want them to get that re-stealth. So I got Shaman in Mind Freeze range here, so I'm going to finish off this pet. You see the rogue trying to make a run back for it, I'll put the chains on him. Gargoyle's still on him, so he's getting low. He's going to go in for a kill, but then he got topped. Not sure what my hunter's doing here. This time we'll grip rogue down, leave everyone else up top. He's pretty much out of cooldown, so this is when you always get the kills. I always make sure I throw out a chains right before I use grip, just in case there's a grounding totem down. Here's a Shadow Priest Rogue Shaman. I'm pretty much going to be peeling the rogue most of this fight. And as I know most DKs know, but once you dismount and start sending your pet in combat, you can't be sapped, so I'll always dismount right at a range where I think the rogue couldn't be, even if he had sprinted by then. So I'll send my pet in, so I'm in combat. Drop a D&D to try to get lucky and to build up some runic power. Their opener's really bad here, but they instantly come out and go real hard on the shaman, or real hard on my hunter. Pop lust. So I'm just peeling this rogue. And you want to kind of have a grip up when cloak's up. So cloak's up there, I'll grip him there. Gets after hunter again, and I'll gnaw him. So now cloak's down, so I can chains him again. AMS that hex there. And then he's running through traps again, so we're doing a good job here. And we actually just stay on this rogue since we already got good pressure. And once you trinket a blind, let your whole team know so that they can freely trinket whatever comes in. They don't have to worry about it. Now we got RMPs. This is a Furious Gladiator RMP. Well, the Priest and the Mage are. A lot of times we'll try to maybe get a really early switch on that Priest and pop an Icebound immunity, see if we can force a Pain Sup. So I bring Priest over, pop Icebound before the Rogue opens, so I can't get stunned. And we went Gnaw into an HOJ, into a Strangulate, and forced the Pain Sup there. RMP's got a little bit tougher when Rogues could start envenoming you for 7k crits. You can take a lot more damage now. And your magic immunity slow rogue damage as well. So right about here, we end up going, and I counted here and I go about 15 seconds without getting a single heal, and I started at about 65%. So I'm kiting this rogue while I'm eating some mage damage, but just keep the rogue off me until my pally can get out of those sheeps. As soon as rogue gets to me, I pop an AMS, and then I start kiting him some more. Just trying to get a pally heal. Finally get one there. Now we're still trying to pressure this mage for a kill. We end up finally getting one, and then I pop a pet sack. Here's a 25-20 RMP. So again, depending on who they're on, I'll be either kiting rogue or on mage. So they go to open up on hunter. So I'm going to just be peeling this rogue full time, while hunter stays on mage. So rogue's unable to get on hunter here, which is what we want. We want to force them to switch to me and leave hunter alone, just free to cast. So they end up switching to me here. Get my AMZ up, and then I also switch to the mage. Go Strangulate onto the priest, while the mage is in block just to prevent heals. End up getting a rogue kill here just because he let himself get too low. Here's a 2600 RMP. Transfer here at the end of the season to try for rank 1. Here we kind of get them pinned in, and a lot of times I'll drop a D&D and then I'll Horn of Winter and then pop Icebound for it so rogue can't open on me with a stun, so we can be aggressive at the start. So when we see the priest trying to make a run for a fear there, get on him and force him back in. So all this fight we got perfect positioning. Our hunter and pally never have to go in there. All we have to do is stay on whatever target they give us, and then as long as I don't follow down around those stairs and get stunned or stuck down there and force my pally to bat spot, we're going to win. So we just keep big pressure up here. We just keep them pinned right here. They can't get anything going. The damage we're putting out on everyone's pretty nasty. And just hitting whatever target's available, we end up getting a rogue kill here. We've had some good fights versus this team. It's just this one we just smashed them. Here's another high-rated RMP. I always try to split our flare and D&D in the beginning to try to catch rogue. Usually D&D won't do anything because of shields, but put it down anyway. Catch rogue, start on him, and then we'll switch the mage together. When we get to a mage to about half, I'll throw Strangulate out on the priest. There's a Strangulate, and then we force an ice block with it. So again, it's back onto the mage. Interrupt that sheep with a grip. When this mage gets away here, don't follow, just switch targets. Just keep damage up. Wait for him to come back out and then get back on him. Interrupt at him, then get back on the mage. Now when I'm DPSing this mage, I make sure I'm in a spot where I'm in LOS with my pally, so if I didn't have that freedom and I got Nova'd and then put into a sheep, I wouldn't be stuck behind those boxes. So we're on whatever target we can both be on. That's why we're on the rogue there, and then it's back to the mage. Mage is out of LOS 100, it's back on someone else. Make a switch to priest here with a Hodge. Put out some big damage. Force the paints up. And it's right back to mage. Second block's up, instantly switch back to priest before he gets around that corner. Priest ends up living and gets away, but mage is still real low, so we switch to him. You can see I put a fresh chains on that rogue. Just make sure you keep an eye on that rogue. Just let your hunter free. We end up finishing off a kill on this mage here. Here's that high rated RMP again. Priest shows himself. We'll get started on him and wait and see where they go. So they open on me. So I'm going to kite rogue and DPS mage. Take a little bit of a risk here following this mage, but I thought I could force a block. I got freedom up, I got trinket up and AMS up, so I went for it and we ended up forcing a block with it. Usually you only want to take those risks when you know you're going to be alright. Like I LOS my pally pretty bad there, but I had a lot up. So it's back on mage. I already used my AMZ here, so I had to just try to peel for hunter. So we're going to try to get back on this mage again together. This mage is back out, we get on him. So I'm going to try to keep this rogue away from me while I'm DPS this mage. So it's kite rogue, pump death claws into mage. Force the second block. So we got them all out in the open here, which is perfect. So once that block's done, this mage is going to get shit on. So here comes the doo-doo on his face. Now we got a few Prot-Ret, Hunter, Shaman teams. We've beat these teams two different ways, but the second strat we like the most. This one we'll just put damage into Hunter and try to find times to switch it to Shaman. I whiff a grip there because I'm awesome. Stomp that cleansing, and then we just kind of get them spread out a little bit here and put some damage out. Try to get their Shaman away from those pillars. So we can get a switch on him and force a bop. This team was rank 1 pretty much all season when they got farmed down. Pro disengage there. And I whiffed my second grip here because I'm awesome. About 0.3 seconds left on that on that deterrence. Made me so pissed. Anyway, we switched to Shaman here. Just get him in a bad spot and interrupt a heal. I don't know where the bop was, Hobo Shock. I guess because you're playing a skilled spec. You don't need those kind of things. So we end up getting a kill on Shaman. Here's my BFF got nerded. It's Prot-Ret, Hunter, Shaman. They were at about 2750, 2800. And this is a strat we like more. I'll get diseases rolling and then I'll just switch to this Shaman and blow all my interrupts and put out big damage early. And I just lock down Shaman heals. I'm just trying to force him to jump and blow cooldowns, and we'll switch. Of course, there's a cleansing totem sitting there all game because I'm a retard. Shit happens. So Shaman's back, I'm back on him. And my team's just putting CC onto that pally. Sounds like a hard thing to do, but they're doing it. Just scatters and HOJs on the pally. So I trinket the scatter instantly, thinking he's going to trap me, and I pop an AMZ up. I grip that Shaman with about 0.1 second left on bop, so I barely missed that heal. But anyway, I'm just back on Shaman for interrupts. I'm damaging 2 targets against the Shaman. Hunter ends up dying there. Shaman was going to die anyway, so Poor guy in there, he's probably so pissed. Fuck. Here's one more Prot Ret Hunter Shaman. We're using the same strat where I'm splitting off onto that Shaman. Actually get that cleansing totem, and then I'm just on Shaman. Do a pretty bad job of on my interrupts here. Now we get that Shaman though, so they're forced to come back and peel, which is good. So they're gonna just get behind these boxes. And it's good to have them pinned in there, because then we can assume our top secret triangle formation number 37, which guarantees a victory. I'm gonna group him out here, and I call the switch to him. I'm definitely gonna force a bop here with no trinket and freedom down. So there's the bop, and then I go peel some. Our hunter's using his deterrence. So now the Shaman's got nothing, so we'll be able to get a kill on him. Back on Shaman here, we're gonna get this kill. I call Hunter to help. I get a grip and the chains on him, keep him in LOS of the Hunter. And we get a Hunter kills as I die, or as their Shaman dies, so this is a 2v2, we should never lose anyway. I stand the Prot right here, just he's the one that could stop and start pumping heals into the Hunter if I went on Hunter, so we'll just finish the Prot off. So finish off the Prot. And it's on the Hunter. My friend, I don't know what to do to impress this guy. He just, I don't know. I've tried everything. I think I'm gonna buy him some flowers or something. That's it from me. Good luck everybody in season 8. Sorry for the length of this one, 40 minutes. Damn. Hope you enjoyed the movie. I hope it was helpful, and actually found a better way to record fraps, so next time I'll be able to get some higher quality if I make another one. Anyway, I'll see you guys around.